So we have come to a very simple conclusion. Being a type 2 humanity, so anxious, emotional, for our own sake, we should try to move from the position of the anxious, emotional psyche to the position of the primary psychosis psyche. Is it possible? Since we know how a person with the primary psychosis behaves, we should why should it be impossible to learn to behave like this? So what should we do to behave like the person with primary psychosis? First of all, give up any kind of self-criticism. Then pump the theatrical external self-esteem tirelessly. Then always consider your own interests only. Then analyze nothing. Next, make decisions spontaneously. Next, don't explore anything. Next, be interested in nothing except for food and other pleasant physiological activities. Next, think and act childishly. And finally, try to have as shallow emotionality as possible. Isn't it easy? I will say more. The implementation of this list will make the life of the type 2 humanity, so anxious, emotional people, finally quite bearable and even pleasant, because their life will be finally like the life of the type 1 humanity people. At least, this is the endeavor of all the psychotherapists trying to turn the type 2 people in the type 1 people. Unfortunately, that's not all that needs to be done to transform the type 2 people into type 1 people. Let's not forget about the most important element of the psyche, which is the anxiety. And where are the enthusiastic promises to transform the type 2 humanity into type 1 humanity? Well, there is no psychotherapy that can make the anxiety go away completely in the type 2 humanity people. And it's not about distracting yourself from the anxiety for a while. Yes, any psychotherapy, even an ordinary conversation can do it. However, it's impossible to completely block the consciousness perception of the anxiety pole, as it's the case of the primary psychosis by the type 1 people. So is it impossible to overcome this last obstacle in the transformation of the type 2 people in the type 1 people? Well, I have good news. Yes, it is possible. It is true that it is possible to inhibit the activity of the anxiety pole, but the negative effects of its influence on human consciousness can be reduced almost to zero. How to do it? Before an explanation of this valuable procedure is made, a few words of introduction are necessary. Namely, one of the main negative effects of anxiety are thought loops, also known from the Latin languages as ruminations. And I will use this term hereafter. Every type 2 people know what I'm talking about. Well, in a situation when the anxiety attacks the consciousness without sufficient anti-anxiety tools, the logical system becomes a kind of a hostage of the anxiety, and there comes to looping thinking. This is a thinking that cannot be interrupted. These anxiety-driven ruminations are at the heart of any anxiety disorder, and for many people, they are much more upsetting than the anxiety itself. The logical system is the point of the consciousness where it is where this consciousness is attacked by the anxiety. If we could get rid of this point, the anxiety would lose its ability to attack our psyche, and the type 2 humanity people would become mentally the same as the type 1 people without anxiety. Is it possible? Now, what is possible? It is to block the point in which the anxiety attacks the logical system, causing ruminations, looping thinking. Moreover, you can even make a permanent block. After all, only such a block interests us if you want to make out of the type 2 people the type 1 people. How to do it? Since the logical system is the most sensitive point in which the anxiety attacks the consciousness, the function of the logical system should be blocked. And again, the question, how to do it? The answer is surprisingly simple. You just need to disable the logic system. In the people with a properly functioning psyche, the logical system is not an autonomous system, but it is subordinate to a higher mental instance, which is the mental wheel. But we can deal with the autonomization of the logical system, and this is what happens in the anxiety disorder. And this autonomization is nothing else but the already mentioned the loops of thinking. That's rumination. So nothing could be easier. It's enough not to use the logic system to block the anxiety. The thing seems very simple. And this simplest of simple things comes to the type 2 people with incredible difficulty. These people lost the ability not to use the logical system. This ability is a norm in the childhood and in the primary psychosis generally and basic psychosis of the adults. This is why, unfortunately, the type 2 people are so vulnerable to the anxiety. It will sound scandalous, but in order to get back to the primary psychosis, the type 2 people simply have to learn not to use the logical system, that is, to learn not to think. Only in this way they can become similar to the type 1 people in respect of the anxiety. There is no other possibility. Thus, the psychotherapy of the type 1 people who want the same psychological comfort that thus the psychotherapy of the type 2 people who want the same psychological comfort that the type 1 people enjoy will consist in developing the ability to disable thinking. This might be an exercise to stop thinking. Just say stop aloud or to your own self whenever your thinking loops due to a sudden anxiety attack. Sometimes this simple exercise may not be enough, and then you can stop the logical system in the way the technique of hypnosis does, namely by distracting the logical thinking process. The principle is as simple as with the stop exercise. This time, however, instead of giving order to your thoughts, we say slowly at intervals of several seconds words completely unrelated to each other, such as sun, and, tractor, eight, green, etc., during several minutes, 3 to 4, 5 maximum. Since the human mind is unable to carry out parallel logical processes, therefore, in the face of completely divergent thought trajectories determined by each word, the mind becomes distracted and stops any thinking for a moment. This short moment, although very often actually lasting not longer than a second, is long enough to uncouple the anxiety logical loop of thinking. Of course, it's justified to ask if there is a possibility of directly turning off the anxiety itself, because all techniques of decoupling the anxiety logical loop are, however, for people who are poorly trained in them, quite laborious and, especially at the beginning of their use, ineffective. The answer to this question, whether one can stop anxiety pull directly, is affirmative. But turning off the anxiety should be reserved only for critical situations in which there is a risk of dramatic consequences of an overload of the consciousness by the anxiety. So how can be the anxiety directly turned off? The readers of this book, my listeners belonging to the type 2 people, are probably in a hurry to get this information. And I will surprise you, because some of you have maybe already used this method, a method which I don't recommend, but which I must mention for the sake of objective science. Well, all kinds of addictive substances, such as alcohol, nicotine, and various forms of psychotropic drugs, are primarily anxiolytic. Hence their popularity among the type 2 people. It is also worth noting here that the type 1 people are free from the need to use these substances. And if type 1 people use the anxiolytic substances, then they do it exclusively in a social and occasional form, which doesn't lead to addiction, as it is the case of the type 2 people. A natural question arises: why alcohol, nicotine, and psychotropic drugs are not addictive to the type 1 people, and they are for the type 2 people? To understand this phenomenon is very easy if you understand what addiction actually is. Now, every suffering, and the anxiety is such a suffering, is a state that we do not want to experience. On the contrary, we want to avoid it or to get rid of it immediately. And it's not a question of mental will. The drive to get rid of a suffering is part of the self-preservation instinct. So it's enough that we experience once the substance actions, abolishing the suffering of anxiety, to reach for this substance without the slightest hesitation when the next anxiety attack comes. Trying to avoid the anxiety is just as uncontrollable as the instinct of self-preservation is. This is how alcoholism, nicotine, and drug addiction are born. The type 1 people do not know the suffering of anxiety, and therefore, even if they consume the above substances for social reasons, the psychological dependence is impossible for them, but physical dependence is. If type 1 people regularly consume anxiety-blocking substances for social purposes, the metabolic pathways, especially in the central nervous system, may become dependent on the presence of these substances to such extent that the normal functioning of the nervous system without their presence in the blood will not be possible. Then, neuronal dysfunction may happen, manifested, for example, by the epileptic seizures after a sudden addictive substance withdrawal.